All right, hey guys, my name's Wesley Bolin, and today I'm going to be presenting you my the business I created for this project, which is a gym called Movement Evolution. And just a little bit about it is Movement Evolution was created on the idea that people don't need to sacrifice their joint health to achieve their fitness goals. You know, joint pain and muscle soreness is inevitable with working out, but so much of it that happens today is really preventable. And just sorry, just looking at the United States alone, at least 100,000 ACL injuries are going to happen every year. 1 in 3 adults are going to suffer from chronic knee pain. 2 out of 5 adults are going to suffer from chronic back pain, and about 48 million surgeries are going to be performed every year. And the way we look at it is when you're little and enjoyed goofing around in your yard, running around, did you just learn how to run in one day? No, I mean, that's not the way it works. You didn't run immediately. Before you could run, you had to walk. Before you could walk, you had to crawl. You had to crawl around on all 4 floors. And once you learned that movement, then you could walk. And once you could walk pretty well, then you could run comfortably without thinking about it. And the way we see the fitness industry is a lot of people will teach you how to run before you even know how to walk or crawl. And that's where a lot of injuries happen that can be prevented. And our facility is located at 1544 Blowing Rock Road in Boone, North Carolina, which if you get lost looking for it, it's right next to the local Publix in town. And, in all seriousness, hypothetical aside, this is the actual location of the U.S. Postal Service building. Not the one on App State's campus. It's the one which you can see on the map. It's right on Blowing Rock Road. 321 is in the address. But getting back to the presentation, the facility itself is about 1,000 square feet. And it includes, there's a whole bunch of equipment in there, but you got open chain and closed chain machines, which if you don't know what that means, basically open chain means that your foot or hand, depending on the exercise you're doing, is not attached to the ground. So for instance, an example of an exercise would be a leg extension machine where you're sitting, you have to kick your legs out with resistance on the movement. And it's called open chain because your feet are not in contact with the ground. And then you have the closed chain machines, which would be like a leg press machine because your foot's in contact with the board that's pressing the weight up the whole time. It's never going to leave that. But on top of that, we got barbells, dumbbells, benches, a cardio room, yoga room, locker rooms, and we also have a snack bar. In rates, which is obviously something that people ask about a lot, most of our customers go for the traditional rate, which is $250 annually per person. That covers obviously annually a whole year, and all the facilities I mentioned earlier, you have full access to all of them. But we do have a couple of bundles built into our rates program. We have the family bundle, which basically the way that works is if you can get 5 people together, it's only $200 per person. So, you know, 5 people, that'd be $1,000 instead of paying 250 per person, which would be 1250. So you're saving $250, and you can do the math. You can do up to, and there's no limit on how many people you can have. You just have to have at least 5 people for it. And also, it doesn't have to be actual family members. We just called that because that's about the size of a typical family. You can just get 4 of your buddies and join the family bundle. But the next bundle we have is the athlete bundle, which is $500 per person for the whole year. So the way that it works is that, going back to our baby analogy earlier, the crawl, walk, run is how we format our workouts. So the crawl phase, which is first phase, is we put you through a movement screen, identify muscle discrepancies, muscular weaknesses, and balances. Second phase, which is the walk phase, is we strengthen the basic movements of the body. So stuff like shoulder rotations, gripping the ground with your feet. And then the third phase, which is where this comes into play, is the actual working out, which you can do on your own, but we also have personal trainers on site. We have group fitness instructors which teach classes, but these cost money and the rates vary. More details about that on our website, but if you do have the athlete bundle, then the $500 will cover the personal training costs and the group fitness class costs, which are not covered in the traditional rate or the family bundle. On top of that, we have 10% off for college students, which makes sense for us. We're just a few minutes away from Appalachian State's main campus. We get a lot of college students from App State coming in all the time, and it's good for us because it attracts them, gets us more money, but it's good for them because we can help them get a little cheaper cost for going to the gym. And we also have a 25% off for the military, which it's nothing really fancy about that. We just believe that they've done a great duty for us and risking their lives for our country, and it's one of those things that you can't really thank them for in any way, but this is the least we can do to help out. Um, and for those of us who want to work with us, on our website, there's a job application which details all the requirements needed. And if you have any further questions, you can email us at movementevolution@gmail.com. But just for a quick summary, you're required to have a bachelor's degree at minimum in an exercise science related field. So it could be exercise science itself, biochemistry, kinesiology, which some of the common ones people coming into our gym majored in college. And the traditional pay for our workers, which applies to our personal trainers and our group fitness instructors, which are most of our workers. The first 5 years in a job, you're paid $40,000 a year, and then after 5 years, you're paid $50,000 a year. But this doesn't apply to a physical therapist, who obviously they're paid more than that. Their rates are more at $70,000 a year, but it really varies by how long they've been with us too. But we didn't include that in the slide because most people coming aren't physical therapists. And we also have management positions in our facility, which start at $80,000 a year. And our CSR initiative, we strongly believe in environmental sustainability. A lot of companies will have multiple CSR initiatives, which are great, but we want to focus all of our energy and input into this. It's kind of smart for us geographically since we're located in Boone, which is in the middle of the Appalachia region. Helps gain us a lot of popularity with the locals here, builds more connections with businesses and other people who can help us increase our business revenue. But and on top of that, it's just a good moral thing, we believe, to take care of the place you live in, which is the Appalachian Mountain region. And it's a really pretty area in general. If you look at the picture, if you need a reference. But some of our basic initiatives, we have a lot of recycling bins and water bottle refilling stations throughout our facility. We also work with the Appalachian Voices Environmental Organization. And this is an organization that helps protect the central and southern Appalachian mountain regions from things like deforestation through project expansions, not pursuing not doing energy saving tactics like using the windmills, which is a sustainable source of energy. And recently they've done a lot of work with the pipelines that the government has been trying to build in Virginia, North Carolina. And to raise money for this, we have a charity run, which is called the Mountain Run. It's a 1 mile run. There's also a 5K, a 10K run, or even a marathon if you really want to, if you're a hardcore runner, just to fulfill all the groups of runners, whether you're run all the time or you don't really run much at all. But we have this twice a year, once in the winter, once in the summer, and all the proceeds of this event goes to the Appalachian Voices, the organization I mentioned earlier. And just to wrap this up, our slogan is "Progress is not inevitable; it's up to us to create it." And this next line is directly from our website. This sums us up perfectly because we give you all the tools to maximize your athletic performance without sacrificing joint health. But at the end of the day, it is up to you to put the work in. And this is on our website because our customers see this, and we this quote applies to them. But this quote also applies to all of the workers in our organization. We always want to hire people who obviously high character, good education, good responsible people, but we want people who are progressively getting better on a daily basis. Our personal trainers, we want them to stay up to date on all the new sciences that are being learned for exercising. Group fitness instructors want them to keep up to date on their public speaking skills, which they're obviously going to practice every day. But just anything that's new is coming up that can help them in their classes, and even in management, like people like me, I have to stay up to date on my own education and be aware of other businesses and what they're doing, because not trying to be ugly when you say this, but it's competition at the end of the day. There are other businesses, and if they grow too much, that more than you can handle, then they're going to put you out of business. I won't have a job. The people who work under me won't have a job. So, and the only way to prevent that is progressively get better. And that's it all. That's all of my presentation, and thank you for watching.